Yo, what's up guys, welcome back, next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. So all the way back to the beginning for the last time. So here is where, the two decks for each group will be decided, right? That will move on to the top 16 playoffs. So first one here back in Group A, we have Chaos versus Tengu plans. This is a matchup that I think we already have seen in the past, right? With... Again, both deck lists are very similar, like the best cards basically from that particular era were slapped into basically a deck. And what is it? There's like 7 years a difference between both these decks. That's a lot. But again, like both decks are somewhat slow and kind of grindy, So which deck has the advantage? I see that a little bit more than half of the people see that Chaos has the advantage over Tengu Plant. I could somewhat agree due to the banlist cards, right? Looking at all the hand destruction cards, looking at Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Painful Choice, and all of the OG cards, right? Those are superb. So let's take a look, let's see. Tengu Plant goes first, only setting one monster, it could be Glow Bulb, could be Dandelion, so I think going in with DD Warrior Lady was the correct choice. Again, if it's like Dandelion or Bulb, you can definitely banish that one. Another T set, so again a slow start. So let's see, it's definitely going to be a long and grindy duel. Again, as I mentioned before, both decks are somewhat slow and grindy-ish. Trap Dash Shoot gets rid of Serpent, and that's kind of big. That prevents, the free discard of Tribe Infecting Virus, right? The potential Graceful Charity later in the duel, who knows? So attack into one of the face downs, which indeed is a Glow Bulb. So again, a super slow start, like one Tengu, one, Tour Guide could switch things up, and you attack into Spirit Reaper, and again, here is where the Sinister Serpent could have helped out. Main phase 2 using Tribe to, discard Serpent and go from there. This again is not really that strong. It's okay-ish. You're investing a couple of like super staples, powerful cards to go for that Stardust Dragon, and two sets with Stardust that's asking for a heavy storm, but Stardust just says no. I could potentially maybe let me think. Maybe force out like the Stardust with Typhoon and maybe then Monster Reborn, but that would have ended in basically the same situation. Yeah, Typhoon, then Heavy Storm, then Monster Reborn maybe? But I think there's a warning set, so I'm not so sure it mattered in the long run, but we'll see. So, 1000 times restrict. Only one monster can attack. We now see that's the Econ. So again, during main phase 2, I'm kind of forced to go for another 1000 ice restrict. Basically, paying 1k life, setting the Torrential Tribute. But the board wipe, and is this enough? I'm not so sure. There is no Titanial in the deck. The deck can go for Cataster. And is this lethal? No, this is not lethal. So we're still in, but again, not the best. I can go for Keki, but Keki for Cataster, that's again not really that strong. Set one back row being a useless Mystical Space Typhoon. Draw Kiko. Kiko is strong. We can banish Spore, we can banish. I think all of them were already used, right? I think so. Yeah, I think so. And this is kind of unfortunate. You could go for the back row, and this would not have been game if, they went for the back row, but, this deck is not really running too much back row. So immediately, game 2. Okay, blow my opponent away with the Delinquent Duo, 2 discards basically, so that's fine. T-King, I need to get rid of T-King, get rid of T-King with the DD Warrior Lady and go from there. So already I am at the, card advantage, I have card advantage. So going with the Yata, so we can prevent my opponent from getting his next draw phase. This Gorse, I think, is okay-ish. The token is not that big of a deal, the Gorse itself is a big boss, and again, as I mentioned multiple times before, back in the old school days, Gorse was Gorse was a fairly big hand trap, if not the best hand trap, because it could, turn games upside down. The warning says no to Yata Garasu, so that's a small bummer. So the game is still open. At least the game is still open, right? If I would have been able to attack with the Yata, the game would already be closed in my favor. So set a Cini, that's basically free information. They know it's Sinister Serpent, so Pot of Greed to draw to Monster Reborn for a Scientist. And this is again one of the OG rulings that, back in the day, you could go for Scientist, for double, or for Dark Balder. Basically attack into your opponent's Magician of Fate or Sinister Serpent or Sangyan, and they won't trigger. So this is super crucial, even though I'm going to lose both Baltar here in the end phase. Both, what was it, Spore and Bulb. Yeah, at least they can activate, but their effects are negated, right? So that's why Baltar was so crucial and super powerful. So Crush card gets rid of the, I guess, both big monsters on their field. And even though this is not enough to attack for a game, the Ring of Destruction is there. Is Ring enough? Yeah, Mystical Space Typhoon is definitely not enough. And this should be more than enough, right? Yeah. So drop BLS as well as somewhat as a nice top deck. So that's where Chaos shines, right? With all of those powerful cards. I guess Carbon Copy, no, with like the previous Duels game number 3. Again, a DD Warrior Lady attacking into like one of the face downs, or they attacking into DD Warrior Lady. And yeah, we can't risk it with Spirit Reaper. I maybe could have used Snatch Steal on Reaper, but I'm not so sure. Do we really want to waste Snatch Steal? I don't think so. So again, Tengu not being able to activate. It did need, you know, like an early Scientist, right? Scientist is a card that you don't really want to waste that soon. I do left call on Scientist, but Mystical Space Typhoon says no. So let's see. The tribe is still there. I think, yeah, going for Breaker might be the better option, but, you know, like leaving Breaker on field with a token or counter on it in a format where people are playing Econ, Brain Control, or Snatch Steal, that's a bit iffy, right? I mean, you could get punished for that if it wasn't for Imperial Order. So Order says no, and they do have field advantage. Then again, due to the Order, you know, I was about to say that there is no way to, you know, activate power spells, but pre-Rata Imperial Order, you're able to not, at least you're not forced to pay, right? You can just say no, and then Order will destroy itself. The Monster Reborn, so let's see. This is a weakish Armory arm, even though it's a small beatstick here in this case, it can just attack over Tribe. Yep, that's fine though. So End Phase Mystical Space Typhoon, another big beatstick would be the game. Sadly not the case, so we just go into attack over Army Arm, keep Snatch Steal, just in case, for a potential BLS as it's there. So Lone Fire Blossom for a priority, you know, Torrential Tribute, at least we are rating with Torrential for that. But the problem here is indeed the tokens and the BLS. But again, we have Snatch Steal for that, so that's why, you know, Snatch Steal again, super broken card. But didn't it come off of the ban list? What was it? At 3 in the Master Duel? In all honesty, I'm not so sure. It's probably not going to do anything. So, Set Magician of Fate. Sure, they will get some extra life points. I'm super low, by the way, but still have the BLS. And again, I can't... Maybe I should have risked, but then again, what am I getting back from the graveyard? I think Typhoon maybe? Forceful Sentry not live. Their Tour Guide is also not live, so again, super iffy. We're banishing that. Not risking because again I'm super low on life points. The Book of Moon is drawn, which is not an out. You know, if you Book of Moon a monster with Snatch Steal, it will stay on the field where the monster was put face down. So getting for some damage. The game is still, at least the game is still on, right? It's a super grindy duel. So still have Magician of Fate. Again, not really. I mean, because of Painful Choice, I now have the ability to, you know, get like a power spell back, Monster Reborn, and they are indeed forced to potential Torrential Tribute. But I don't think it matters too much, because we can go for Harpy's Feather Duster. Sure, they are getting the tokens off of Dandelion, but we can Raigeki them away, and we can go for the Yata lock. So, what was it, like how many turns? At least over 20 turns. But eventually I'm able to go for Yata lock, and this should be the game, right? In like, what is it? 10, 15, 16, 20-ish turns, picking away some damage. Yeah, Scoop Phase. Okay, so game number 4, I go second, and this is again an okay opening and Confiscation, Snatch Steal, so potential Yata getting in for some damage with Snatch Steal. But Tour Guide and Sangan, that's just fine against this deck. And again, Carbon Copy again with DD Warrior Lady, with Painful Choice. I think Tengu Plant is a deck that has access to Monster Reborn, right? So it's kind of dangerous to, Painful Choice, reveal Demok. So if you don't have your Premature Burial or Call for that, I don't think it's worth it to, you know, put Demok in the graveyard and potentially risking your opponent having Monster Reborn. So we try again, Yata getting in for some damage, or try to get in for some damage, Call of the Haunted on Dandelion, which I guess helps out, especially with the Lone Fire Blossom in hand. So again, back in the day, one of the best 2-card combos, like what is it, 1-for-1 Dandy or Lone Fire Blossom with Dandy for potential Trish and whatever. So Torrential has already been activated, so a couple of draws, this is not looking too good. The Snatch Steal though is decent, but I mean against this board, something where, you know, Formula Synchron can, you know, use its effect, dodge Snatch Steal, and there was no way, you know, to potentially force out the Formula Synchron, so this is basically a losing battle. So 2-2 eventually. Kind of expected, right? I should recheck, but I think in the past, like this particular matchup always ended up in a 5-gamer, and if I remember correctly, it was always like a super long duel. So Mirage of Nightmare for potential 2 draws, protected with Imperial Order, that's super strong, especially with the Heavy Storm here. No Typhoon, so we are not getting punished for that. Tengu is okay, you know, Cindy, that's fine. I'm not forced to discard 2 unless I decide not to pay for Order, because, you know, we do Painful Choice. No, just play the waiting game again, like a Chaos. It could potentially be dangerous, but other than that, I don't see a threat. Even like normal summon Bulb or whatever, I can, you know, still opt to not pay for Imperial Order and drop my big Chaos boss monsters. So Tengu, what is it? A lot of monsters though, so yeah, that's the deal, right? With Mirage of Nightmare not being able to draw those cards, or maybe draw one, which I guess is decent. It recycles your hand and potentially gives you the chance of discarding the, in this case, Demok or Sinister Serpent. Foolish Burial, I think I have a Torrential Tribute, right? Like this could potentially be like Stardust or Ring of Destruction on the Glow Bulb, so no Synchro for you. And here is where the Torrential, this is a big one, a big swing. Tengu cannot activate, since again the 3 copies are already in the graveyard, and now we get in with Reaper, again so crucial. Like previous duels, we saw the Yata poking for some damage, preventing the draw phase, and now the Reaper forcing out the cores, go for a weak token. Okay, I'm going to get some damage now, but I mean it's fine, I think. A lot of power spells are still there. Levier potentially reborning Dandy. That's decent. Okay, you're not risking the mirror. Mirror Force is still there, so we can just, you know, set, what is it, Witch and Reaper, potentially tributing them both for Demok, and then this is basically my duel, or should be my duel. Once set, we saw that it's Bottomless Trapple, so we tribute them away for Demok. Is there a Bottomless? There is indeed Bottomless, but again, I should have Light and Dark, if not, get back Painful Choice, set up Light and Dark in the graveyard, and then, you know, this should be my duel. Go for Dark Hole, wipe away the entire board, BLS get in for double attack. I already used up my normal summon. I was thinking of, you know, normal summoning Tribe, use its effect, but already, you know, normal summoned Demok, and the set is not going to help me draw it. We sack the Typhoon. More damage again, so 1500, 3k, and if there's a potential comeback card, we still have Tribe and Simi, right? Monster Reborn though, but that's not going to matter because the Chaos Emperor was banished, yeah, because it was a light, right? Or dark? Should recheck that. Yeah, dark indeed for the Blackluster summon, and this is more than enough to attack for a game. So super long duel, but I think we have a well-deserved winner. So that means again, both decks, Chaos first place, Tengu Plan second place, will move on to the top 16 playoffs. Next matchup we have Victory Tsukulok versus Mindmaster OTK. Not important because both decks are already out, but feel free to leave your predictions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Riddim signing out. Peace.